Book recommendation of the day, Atomic Habits by James Clear. Listen, success is not going to come to you overnight. It's not going to come to you if you don't have a plan. It's not going to come to you if you don't have systems. You hear me talk about systems all the time. What the fuck is a system? Today we're going to discuss the system creation framework. Right? Okay, cool. So the first thing you need to know about systems is that before you even create a system, you need to understand what you're creating it for. So there needs to be what? A goal in mind. So what is the goal that you have for yourself? So this is your goal. I don't know what that is for you, but if I told you that you needed to book a flight to go somewhere tomorrow, what would you do to do that? You would create what? A system, which means you would go online, open up your computer, step one, right? Then you would type in whatever airline or Google maybe first, right? And after you type in Google, you would find cheapest flight depending on what airline you fly. And some people fly strictly a certain airline. That's fine, right? You would find the time and date. That's another task that you have to do. Then find your returning flight. Cool, it's a round flight, blah, 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 blah. Then you would go and pay for it. System. Anyone tells you, oh, hey, I need you to book a flight. What would you do? That exact same system. But what does that system have in common with everything else that you do in life? It is tasks that make that system. Okay, cool. So there's a goal. Then there needs to be actionable tasks, right? You have to know what you're going to do to get to that goal. And these are small steps to get to a bigger and broader goal. Actionable tasks. Cool. What would you put in place if you had to do that on a recurring basis? You would create systems. Right? You would create systems or a system to not only get those tasks done, but to schedule them, make them automated, right? That's how things get done in the world, is when your systems get automated. What does it do? It frees your time. When you have more time, you can do more things, right? You can leverage that time to go execute on other things that can give you even more leverage. Like we talk about business, life, everything in life is about leverage, right? How much time do you have? How much resources do you have, right? That you can leverage to get to a better place. Okay? So systems. After your systems now, what do you do with your systems after they're created, right? Once you have these systems in place, it's not just, oh, one-stop shop and I'm done. Now it's into something a little bit more deep. Consistency. You have to stay consistent with these systems, right? Consistency, right? You have to continue to do these tasks over and over and over and over to get to what? The goal, or get to, better yet, achievements, right? But let me get this other marker. So consistency. You must stay consistent to get to an end goal, right? That's just what you have to do. Right? And sometimes it's not that you're going to get to that end goal tomorrow. Maybe it takes some time, right? Sometimes things take time, and that's fine. But at least you have the actionable steps, the systems, and the consistency to then garnish you what? Achievements. Right? Achievements. And now your achievement is you're not coasting, but you're in a place where you're taking the steps upwards to get to where you want to be. So you're achieving something, right? Very important. Achievement. And these are the steps of how you create a system. Let's make this a bit more personalized to you. So your goal, whatever your goal may be, I want you to place it here. So here's your goal. Place it right here. So let's say you want to become a world traveler, right? You want to be a world traveler, right? So that's the goal. That's what you put up in the banner. That is what you say to yourself. That is what you want to be, a world traveler, right? After you take that world traveler goal, you need to break it down into actionable steps. That is what's next. Actionable steps. So the question is, how do you become a world traveler? How does one become a world traveler? So take your goal and then break it into actionable steps. Maybe to become a world traveler, I need what? I need currency. I need money, right? So if you're in the US, you know that the dollar stretches far outside of the US. So, okay, cool. But how do I garnish that money, and how will it allow me to continue to travel once I leave? And how can that money still come in? So you have to break these up into steps that you take, right? To get here, you have to break that down. It's almost like you got to grind this idea up and then make it and build it into other smaller steps that you can take. So maybe it's that you apply for a remote job. Once you get the remote job, you can then go and then start to ask them, is it outside of, can I fly outside the country? They say yes to that. Okay, cool. Now you have a remote job. You can fly outside the country. And now you have, the only thing you have to figure out is your time now. Right? So maybe you need to find a remote job that makes you work 3 days a week, 4 days a week. But, I need a better skill set. Okay, cool. So instead of just doing what I've done with the skill sets that I have, maybe I have to go get a certificate in something else. Maybe it's in coding and technology, getting a certificate in 3D design. Who knows what it is? You have to understand that for yourself. So you found the remote job, right? You figured out the assets and the skills that you need to become a better worker for that system that you're looking to get into, which is the job, the remote job. Now you have your time back so that you can fly around the place because you're no longer anchored down to a physical place. Now it's all about, maybe you want to find tour guides in the countries that you're flying to. World traveler. That was the idea in the first place. You want to be a world traveler. Now you have all the assets to do so, right? And now it's just creating systems. So once you have all this in place, how do you then get the system to be scheduled? And this is where your habits come in. This is habit stacking. Figuring out the habits that you do every single morning will help you then have a schedule routine that you just get into. And it feels like a conveyor belt after a while, because then it's almost like your body is just systematically going to get up and do the system, right? So you get up, right? You log into your work computer, right? Then you start to create, maybe. Okay, cool. Then you talk to your VA, right? That you gotten from your actionable task. So in your actionable task, you found a VA, right? That then helps you with your system, right? So now this is just starting to become something that you do every single day, right? And then let's say, cool, now that you're a world traveler, because you've done your actionable task and you took the task to get there, right? And now you're creating systems for yourself, because now you need to create a system because you're in a different country, right? The world's still going. You're still going to have to clock in for work. You might be on a different time clock. So it's like you have to have these systems in play. But then let's say you get a VA and a videographer because you want to do what? Create content. Now you're creating content as a world traveler, right? You're getting more revenue, right? Because you're taking an actionable task of creating content that is now in your daily system. And then to automate this system, to give you your time back, you get a videographer within that country, right? So you're helping your bottom line, and now you're creating content. Documentary. Okay, cool. Now it's all about staying consistent. And I think this is the fucking one that we all need to focus on, because this is the one we all fucking slip up on. You have to be able to create momentum. Consistency creates momentum. If you don't have the momentum, you will never see achievements. All of these things that we're talking about are achievements that have to get done to support this goal. So becoming a world traveler isn't just taking these actionable steps and then tomorrow you're a world traveler, and you know that best. You go put in the submit a resume to Indeed. Do you get the job tomorrow? No, you have to continue to do these actionable tasks and then probably implement it into a system because your life still is going, and then do that consistent enough to get momentum to then get the achievement of getting the job on Indeed. Right? So this system here in itself has to be used all the time in every task that you take. But the most important one, in my opinion, is this one: consistency. You have to be able to stay consistent enough to get the ball moving. Once the ball is moving, that is when you will start to see these achievements come into play. But you will never see achievements if you don't see momentum. And momentum is from daily, boring, mundane ass actions that then can be put into systems. Now imagine this. Imagine if I told you this. These actionable tasks that you're doing can then be put in a system that gets automated, right? So now you have all your time back. And where you may get caught, and where I've been caught before, is where you take the actionable task to create an actionable system or create an automated system that then gives you your time back, and then you stop being consistent in other areas because now you have all your time, and now it's too much time, so you get analysis paralysis, task paralysis. It's like, fuck, I have all this time that I didn't have before, now I don't know what to do with it. Right? So it's important that we take this entire cycle and put it on everything that we do in life, because you need to stay consistent enough to get that momentum. This is where success lies. In whatever field you're going into, whatever you're looking to do, you need to stay consistent enough to see the achievements. Right? And if you've gotten this far, if you've done these three, right, it doesn't make sense to stop here. Don't ever stop here. You have to take it just a step further and add fucking consistency. You have to. Because consistency is what will build the momentum to get the achievements that you're looking for. And I want you to know, once you get these achievements, right? So let's go back to World Traveler. If you're a World Traveler, right? You take the actionable task to get a remote job, right? To get a VA to help you, to do the certifications to get the remote job that'll maybe pay you more, right? So that you can do more leverage that we've talked about before. And then you've gotten the systems in place to make things automated. So maybe the VA is helping you with your US work, right? You have to play the game, right? So if you need help outside the country, because now you're a world traveler, you're not only focused on the work anymore, you're focused on being a world traveler. The world traveler means you need to go experience shit. You got to go do some shit. You got to go do some stuff that you don't even need to be worried about work, right? So you get the VA, you start to be a world traveler. The VA helps you automate your systems. So automating systems is basically just taking all of these tasks that you would have done alone and putting them in something that you no longer have to touch, right? So all of this are actionable tasks to get you here. Once you get the actionable tasks to get the VA can then take over some of those systems for you and make them automated. So now that it frees up your time. Now all you have to do is worry about the next set of actions that will create a system for you, which could be content creation. You can call that content, right? So this is now another system that you yourself are working on while the VA is helping you with your US-based business. Right? Collecting the money. Then you create the consistency, right? To get these things going. So the VA is doing a good job, which means you're still getting paid and you're still being able to pay them, right? And then 2, you can work on the content creation because now you have all the time. And then maybe your passion is to create content. Okay, cool. You've done that long enough. Now you got the momentum. Now the achievement comes. Do not slow down when the achievements start to come. Do not. Slowing down when the achievements come will make this whole shit collapse. You will think you're on the top of the top of the world until what? Your VA has to go up against a hurdle or a task in your workforce that only you can do. Okay, now this is no longer automated because that task may take 9 months, right? To get through. You know how projects get at work in the corporate world. So maybe you're outside the country waking up at whatever time to start work, but the VA can't help you anymore because the VA doesn't have that certification, right? So now your content starts to lack. Right? And that achievement that you had a few months ago is no longer an achievement because this bubble is now burst. This system is no longer automated. They need you here. And now you have to lack here, which does what? What does that do? Kill your consistency. When your consistency starts to lack, what does that do? Kill your momentum. When your momentum is done, what happens? You stay still. Now, let me ask you this. Is it easier to push a car down a hill, right? Or is it easier to push it when it's on a flat surface with zero movement? It's easier to push it down the hill because you've done it so many times that now the consistency helps you get it down the hill and get it going. But then when you get to that flat area on the road where the car stops moving and now you need manual help because you have to be the one who pushes the car, you have to be the one that goes back to the system that you gave to your VA, it's going to cause a ripple effect between your entire system of being a world traveler. Maybe now you can't travel as much anymore because the consistency stopped because the VA couldn't handle it. Right? So you have to be able to adjust. And that's where achievements, right? So you have to adjust. right? And analyze. And this is where, so adjust and analyze in your achievements. Because no matter what, whether it be world traveler, whether it be business owner, whether it be restaurant owner, whether it be content creator, whether it be whatever the fuck you are doing in life, your goal is for life, you are going to have to create the system. And then at the end, when you start to see the fruits of your labor, analyze and adjust. You have to. Otherwise, this whole shit is going to end up in turmoil for you. And you're going to be working 10 times harder to try to complete these actionable tasks. And then this is where we also get stuck. We get stuck in the actionable tasks because then the actionable tasks are so heavy that you get paralysis. You see all these things that you have to do every single day. Oh, fuck, I can't do that. I'm not going to finish those in a day. Right? Oh, fuck, the VA doesn't know what to do. Now you're in a different country. Think about that. Now you're in a different country, right? With no help anymore, working on a project that you don't really care for, right? And now your momentum and your consistency for your content that you're posting about your world travel is now going down the drain and you're losing momentum there and you can't go anywhere. Maybe you're stuck in the room all the time and you hate your job. Now your achievements are lacking and you refuse to adjust and you refuse to analyze where you've gone wrong, right? And what does that bring us back to? Let's go back. What does that bring us back to? That brings us back to this that we talked about the other day, your mindset. So the actions that you took to get to to being the world traveler, right? And the outcomes were positive, but now the outcomes are becoming a little negative. They're becoming negative, and now your mindset's negative, right? And now your future outcomes are now still negative. And so now when you look back to try to create the system again, you're in a negative mindset in a different country with no help. So breathe and understand that creating systems is important. But this is something that you shouldn't neglect. While consistency and momentum is very important, analyzing and adjusting once you start to get achievements is also very important. Right? Don't ever stop right here. Like we said earlier, don't stop at goals and systems. Because a lot of us stop at goals and systems, and once we get that free time to just chill because your consistency is run on autopilot by something or someone, you then feel that you can let up and neglect the consistency for yourself and also the adjusting and the analyzing that you have to do once you start to see a little motion. So don't ever forget this. Don't forget these two when you start to get your free time back. Because when there's a fucking jam in that system, you're going to be fucked. You will be fucked. So you always want to catch and understand, oh shit, this is going on in my life. All right, cool. This is great. Getting a little money now. Okay, store some because rainy months will happen. You will go up and down. This too shall pass. Remember that. That is always a saying that I use. When things are great, this too shall pass. When things are bad, this too shall pass. Everything is going to go like this. Life is an ebb and flow. You have to learn. You have to implement. Learn, implement. Learn, implement. Learn, implement. And don't forget when you're starting to get the success that you're looking for in life, being a world traveler, whatever you put here, always analyze and adjust, right? Because this doesn't always stay the same, and the gears within a car break down, and you have to then do a little manual labor to get it functioning again. So whatever this is for you, just do it backwards, because you will not be able to get to the goals and the success that you're looking for if you don't have a functioning system put in place. And this is the way. This is the creation of systems. Goals, actionable tasks, systems, consistency, and achievement. Holla. Boy, Mr. Brown.